All right, today is the day. Valverde is officially no longer the coach of Barcelona. And I don't want to come out here acting like I'm some big news source, because I'm not, to be honest. I just found out. I wanted to give my reaction, my thoughts about it. You just wouldn't think, they always had a reason to keep him, right? Winning 2 La Liga titles, but I mean, anybody who loves watching Barcelona, whether a hardcore fan, whether a casual fan, or even somebody that just enjoys watching the game, you could tell something was missing from Barcelona. It was slowly dying. The style, the play, the excitement, it wasn't there, right? And for those of us who follow Barcelona, it wasn't hard enough to see the collapse with Roma. You're thinking this coach can't get us over. It may not be all his fault, but wow. Then last year against Liverpool, where you have a situation where the coach is unable to push them through the side. If that wasn't enough, surely they're not going to fire him. Oh, it had nothing to do with the fact that going for an undefeated team, an undefeated season, and then you just let Messi, miss out, and then we miss the game, so you no longer have an undefeated season. It was always these little things. It was always these little things that you kind of questioned his decision making. No, it wasn't the collapse for Roma. It wasn't the collapse for Liverpool. It wasn't the almost undefeated season. It wasn't the bad rotation. It was the loss at the Super Cup. Who would have ever imagined a loss to Atletico Madrid was going to be the deciding factor for why Barcelona no longer employed Valverde? Actually, probably not. They probably found themselves in this situation because they didn't plan it out correctly, right? Because over the weekend, what we found out was that Barcelona was attempting to go get, let's say, for example, they were trying to assign other coaches. They went to Xavi and said, Xavi, would you like this position? He's thinking, I got responsibilities. Also, why are you coming to me in January? And second of all, if you're not going to, this is not appropriate. You do not accept a job offer from a position that has no longer been taken away from the current coach. And I can respect him for that decision. So with all those rejections looming, Barcelona was in a situation where their coach knew they were looking for new coaches. Awkward. So then they were forced to look at other options, right? So now we have Quique Setien, and I would be lying if I knew everything front and back about him. I don't. I know he's got some exciting play. I've watched him on the periphery. Definitely don't have his resume. I'm definitely not looking at all of his accomplishments at this time. But I think at the point where most fans are, and a lot of the actually observable public, is being honest that, hey, this guy didn't really bring anything to Barcelona, is how I would say it. He didn't add anything to our game, really, right? He had a core group of players that he always played with. There was no fear of losing your position. And then the only time he would sub somebody else in would be if either the board was yelling at him, if they wanted to leave the team in January, right? He was forced to make any changes on the field. And that was obvious. He didn't keep the dynamic center of the game. He didn't have that same fun pace, that blistering speed, didn't have any of that unique attacks. He didn't really work with the defense. The defense has slowly been dissolving under Valverde. I'm not saying it's all his fault, but I'm saying he's not helping. At least he wasn't helping. That's all I'm saying. I'm excited to see the new coach. I don't know as much about this. Just wanted to give my immediate reaction. Thank you, Valverde, for 2 La Liga titles. Thank you very much. Thank you for keeping the team intact without any catastrophes. There was no high highs, but there was no low lows. So you have to respect the man for that. Don't feel too bad. He's making 20 plus million a year, and he refused to resign. So that means they're gonna have to sign a new contract and give him a severance package. So don't feel too bad for Valverde. He was somewhat of a pragmatic, slow coach, but he's gonna be leaving with some money. So don't take too much away from that. 2.5 seasons. Top of the league on your way out. Welcome, Quique Setien. I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm hoping, I'm not a fool. I'm not an idiot. I don't think everything is going to change overnight. But to be fair, the team is still number 1 in the league. Yes, it seems very rare that you think of January transfer window. You think we're going to be moving some players in and out of the squad. Turns out it was the actual coach that was leaving midway through the season. Still number one. There's going to be a lot of pressure with Suarez being out for 4 months. And, once Suarez changed from the 4-week to like the 4-month outage, I was thinking, uh-oh. If he knows something we don't know, this is why he would do the surgery now. I had no idea what it was, but here it is. Now, let's see what Quique Setien can get Griezmann to do. Maybe he'll play up top. Maybe he'll try some new formations in the middle, some new, player mixes. Get the most out of De Jong. I'm excited. I'm going to stay positive. And I want to say thank you, Valverde, for 2.5 years, two league titles. And welcome, Quique.